Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Retro Gamers Podcast, episode number 371. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
Yes, Anthony moved very far away to the center of the state.
I did.
And unlike when we were extremely close to each other, now we're recording in person again.
Yeah, I think it's great that you waited for me to move 3.5 hours away from you to visit and do a live show.
Better than a 6-hour flight.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
And even we got more of those out, I think, than when you were in Brooklyn.
That's actually very true. Yes, you visited LA more than you visited me in Brooklyn. And it was only about 40 minutes away.
You were 10 from my parents.
Yeah, 10 from his parents. Never saw the guy. I should be insulted. I really should be insulted. No respect.
There might be a little underlying thing.
No respect there.
So, but no, I came up here to visit Ants, of course, and I do have to say now, seeing the humble abode and the game rooms, I'm going to do a spin around real quick. Ant, you definitely did a really awesome job with this place.
Thank you very much. I put my heart and soul and all my games in it.
And a lot of money.
And money. Yes, I did put money in it, too.
But, no, very good stuff. I mean, the house itself, the place itself is amazing, but down here is really cool. So.
Yeah, no, this is definitely where, basically, I live in a studio apartment because I don't really leave this room very much.
Kind of. Yeah, the whole upstairs, I'm just going to rent it out.
Yeah, I can. So. I can rent out upstairs and be like, look, I'll just come up to grab stuff from the fridge.
I just have to drive to the building 1 day a week, so I can do that 3-hour round trip.
Exactly.
But one of the other reasons why, because if you know the history, I don't really just visit him for the sake of visiting.
No. There always has to be something going on for Larry to visit me. There's never a, hey, we're friends, I'll stop by.
And there almost was going to be a wrestling show, but I totally forgot there was one happening here. Mm-hmm. TNA had a show, but we actually yesterday, from when we recorded, went to the Saratoga Comic-Con.
Yes, we did.
There in Saratoga Springs.
Yes.
The 10th anniversary, actually, of that particular con.
Good timing for us.
Yeah. It was, you know what? It was really fun.
Yeah.
Smaller than, I would say...
Much smaller than, New York.
Much smaller than New York Comic-Con.
Yes.
But I would say, I'm trying to compare it to the Long Island Retro. Maybe a little bigger, technically.
Might have been.
Maybe same size.
I would probably equate the two.
But it was very cool. I mean, we weren't guests there. We paid admission to go in. But it was very cool to see. And what we thought was just the con, which was just one small room.
Yes.
And then a panel. Then we're like, oh, wait, there's a whole downstairs and a whole other wing to visit.
Well, yeah, because it's a 2-day con. And I'm like, they can't do 2 days in this one little room. There's no way.
So we had a great time at the convention. It was more of a Comic-Con. When you first told me about it, I actually thought it was a gaming convention, which is fine, but when it's a Comic-Con. And we had some tables that had gaming. Of course, we're going to show off some stuff that we purchased.
Well, it's also a Comic-Con that wasn't very overwhelming with comics.
No, there was a few tables. But you know what? I think there was an Artist Alley that we completely missed. Maybe.
We probably did.
Maybe.
Yeah, we probably did.
Not 100% sure.
Yes.
So, but nevertheless, if you're in the area for future Saratoga Comic-Con, definitely check it out. I'm assuming it's always around this time of year, the beginning of May. And just some of the places that we saw table-wise, Retro Game Con, who will be at the Long Island Retro Expo. The Crafty Fox, which I'll show you. I pictured something up there.
Yep.
Blue Cherub's Beads. They had the Samus Perler bead, that big one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
You didn't go back for it.
I forgot. That always happens. Every show I ever go to, there's always that one thing I'm going to circle back around.
Yeah, but you know what? Forgetting saves you money, so that's a good thing.
This is true. Zanti Jewelry. These are a lot of non-gaming places, but nevertheless. And Bruno Illustrations. They were pretty cool.
Very nice.
And I think right off the bat, we'll kind of show what we purchased.
Like we start every show with.
Yes, but some of the things I picked up I thought were pretty cool.
Yes. Game-related stuff, of course. I bought a nice little horror door thing, which I love.
Yeah, that was really... If you're going to come and visit Anthony, just be prepared, because if you're staying in his guest room, which I hope you are,
you might never leave.
Creepy. Yeah, it's. I had to sleep with the light on.
I have lots of scary things staring at you.
Terrible. Yeah. And the cat comes in every now and again, just stares at me.
And then that's the other scary thing that stares at you.
First thing, I know yours are upstairs, but there was one table that had magnets and nothing fancy, but nevertheless, I saw these pretty cool things. There was the High C Ecto Cooler.
Very cool.
Magnet. Oh, that's gonna be. You know what? I'll put those in post. That's what's going to happen.
Yes.
This WrestleMania 3 one, I love. You pointed it out.
I literally saw it out of the corner of my eye and pulled you over. I was like, hey, look, magnets.
That's amazing.
WrestleMania 3
magnet. WrestleMania 3 magnet.
Very cool.
Still my best main event of all time. And then, of course, Contra. I had to pick up Contra.
Contra.
So, And then
A staple for you.
Totally. You picked up. Do you remember what you picked up?
I was originally going to pick up a Zelda magnet, but I have so much. I really have so much Zelda stuff. As I did this room, I realized I was like, okay, there's a ton of. I have a lot of Mario, a lot of Zelda. So I grabbed the Castlevania.
Yes, that's
magnet.
what it was. That's what
it's Castlevania magnet.
So hopefully you sent me
Castlevania 1. Yes.
Yes. So and then I ended up picking this up. I circled the table a couple of times, and I have a corresponding piece, a I don't know what you call it, a companion piece that I could put with this. This is the NES TMNT2, the arcade game, signed. There we go. I don't know why I'm showing it because I know I'm going to put a still picture up. Yeah. Signed by Steve Levine, who worked on the Turtles. I love the turtle design there as well.
Yeah.
And what goes great, because I sent away a card. It's called the autograph card that if I remember, I'll try and put it up here as well. That I sent to Eastman for him to sign, and then he doodled Raphael, Raphael nice. with the side. I was hoping for a Michelangelo, but I got a Raphael.
So you have two Raphaels because this is a red turtle.
Yeah, I guess that could be Raphael. Yeah. I guess you can see him like that. So I'm gonna try and put those two together.
That's nice.
But very cool. I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's gonna be worth it.
This is great. This one's good. One's good.
Anthony showed me this. I didn't even see this on the table at first.
Yeah, I'm the reason for most of his purchases.
So then I picked this up from the retro GameCon table, and you pointed it out to me first because you saw it out of the corner of your eye. It's the Tetris Chicken McNugget that was available in China, only in China. But the one
at McDonald's.
At McDonald's.
At McDonald's. You had to buy it at McDonald's.
Hence the McNugget.
Yep.
But the box, he had two of them there. One was out, and about, not playable. He didn't have a battery in it. But I ended up going with the box because this box is partially unopened.
Which means it's never been touched.
Kind of. I'm sure they tried sneaking into it because you can see the part perforated open there and there.
The real question is did it come with sweet and sour sauce?
Ooh, no. What's the Szechuan?
Oh, the
Szechuan from Mulan? Oh.
Nope. I will always be sweet and sour.
That Szechuan
in more ways than one.
Am I going to open this? I don't know if I'm going to open it completely. Right. I kind of like having it in the McNugget box.
Okay, that's right. Well, you can open it completely and still keep the McNugget box. You just open it close.
No, true. But I guess something about just having it partially.
Well, in about a month or two, you're going to look at it.
I'll change my mind.
Yeah, and the same way you did with your pop figures and just
no regrets on that one.
Yes.
There's interesting.
So anyway,
nevertheless, right
Chicken
here.
McNugget Tetris for Larry.
Very cool.
Yes.
So I got that, and then I can show this off. It's all right. So then I got an autograph.
It's game related.
It is game related. I got a copy of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, signed by the lovely and talented Jenna Jameson, who's been known or is known for such wonderful works as Blade 1. I wanted to punch that guy.
Yeah.
He was really being a jerk.
No. Yeah. So the one thing about the convention that was a bit annoying is they had an announcer, and he would just go over the loudspeaker to remind people of what's going on at the convention. But the problem was he was doing it like every 2 or 3 minutes, so you can barely talk to each other before this blaring voice came overhead. Was like, hey, at 11 o'clock, don't forget that this is going on. And then 2 minutes later, hey, at 11 o'clock. This,
but not only that, he sounded like He was like, hey, everyone, welcome to the convention. And for everyone here at the Saratoga Comic-Con, we have the panel Lolita and How to Dress Like Her panel, which was a real panel that they announced.
Yes, How to Dress Like Lolita.
How to cosplay, the Lolita cosplay panel.
Yes.
Brought to you by the Saratoga Police Department. But nevertheless, he kept going. That was a little too much. But I felt he was being very demeaning. I get... Look, all right, we all know, well, most of us, some people here have no idea who she was, but people our generation are aware of who Jenna Jameson is. We don't need to go into that. But she's done some mainstream stuff. She was in Howard Stern's Private Parts. She was in Blade. Right. And she's done some other stuff. And in Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4, she voiced there's a hidden character, Daisy.
Yep.
That they modeled after her. I think after like 100% the entire game's unlocked.
Yep.
And she voiced it. And she was there, and they purposely said, which makes total sense, she was not there, with gratuitous stuff. She had all normal stuff out to sign.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, this is normal. I'll get Tony Hawk. But the guy in the PA, and I get he didn't want to say what she did, but he didn't have to be like, with such films as Blade 1. Like he was saying it to me very condescending.
Yeah, okay.
I thought. But in any event. But she was very sweet, very cool to get this autograph. I wanted to get Zangief's autograph
Yes.
from Street Fighter the movie.
Uh-huh.
You know, the Muscles from Brussels vehicle. But
gosh.
some storm somewhere. I don't even know where there's a giant storm
Well,
happening.
there's currently a flood in Texas right now.
Oh, is there? I mean,
Yes.
that's where he was coming from then. He couldn't make it to the show, so unfortunately, I could not get my Street Fighter the movie, the game signed. That would have been epic.
Well, that's really unfortunate. I'm going to take a moment to be sad for you.
I was hoping
Moment's
to meet him.
gone.
And then the final thing I purchased, and this was from. It's not game related, but it kind of reminds me.
It's
of,
cool,
It
though.
does. It
is
reminds
cool.
me. This is from the Crafty Fox, and this I'm going to show more. It's just like a little terrarium with mushrooms in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll put a picture up. And it's she didn't advertise it as like Mario mushrooms,
Yeah.
but they're Mario mushrooms. So, but I thought that was pretty cool. I
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
it's very cool.
And that's what I purchased at the convention.
Very, very nice.
I did want to buy that ostrich jerky.
Oh,
but I
yes.
to go back and get it.
Yeah, there was a table of all kinds of jerky.
Exotic jerky.
Yeah, exotic jerky, alligator jerky,
Kangaroo.
ostrich, kangaroo. It was
There was some interesting stuff.
It was some odd.
I would have bought one of them, but I forgot.
Yeah, but at a convention, I just thought it was. I was like, okay, sure.
There was a pickle lady there.
Oh yeah, there was a pickle lady. There was a pickle lady. Buy your fermented pickles.
Yeah, hey, I'm allowed to have fermented vegetables. I should be eating them.
There you go. All right, cool. So that was a nice haul.
Yeah.
I got more game related stuff in terms of games you can actually play.
Okay.
You got autographed ones and a nugget. So I'll start off with there. Again, the people that I bought stuff from, they weren't. They didn't have a lot.
Yeah, they
of,
didn't have. Yeah.
They didn't have cards or anything
No,
like
for some
that really
reason,
that
yeah, a
much.
little
So I did get one game from a new vendor that just started up recently.
Oh yes.
Yeah, they only have an Instagram. They're called Lyle Collectibles.
Yes, but it's spelled weird.
But it's spelled wrong. They spelled the word, they spelled collectible wrong.
Lyle Crocodile.
So I just picked up a copy of WCW NWO World Tour.
Great game.
Because a long time ago, I bought these custom game cases from Custom Game Cases, right?
Yes.
And when I was putting my games into the cases, I realized that this was missing. And of all games to go missing, this was WCW NWO World Tour. It doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, I mean, they were. I mean, it's a great game, but there were definitely better games.
Well, and not only that, but they were like, I mean, this is a common game. It's not expensive.
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah,
find.
yeah.
So it's like it was just weird to not have it. So I grabbed it to finish my wrestling video game collection on the N64.
Very good.
As far as I know.
Well, North American probably.
In North America. Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's tons in Japan for it. So got that now, and my game case is complete, which is great. Then I picked up a couple of things for the Super Nintendo. And again, just another random table that was set up. A really nice guy that I was talking to. I picked up a copy of Pilot Wings for Super Nintendo, which I've never had.
Really? Wait a
no.
minute. You never owned that?
No, the first time
Legit?
the first time I ever played Pilot Wings was Pilot Wings 64.
Really?
Because I bought that with the N64.
I could have sworn.
No,
I remember you love Pilot because I do not like that
No,
series.
I fell in love with Pilot Wings with 64.
Okay,
Yeah,
I could
with
have sworn
64.
you had the Super Nintendo one. Okay,
I did not have the Super
Fair
Nintendo
enough,
one.
then.
So I picked up a copy of the Super Nintendo one.
Okay.
And then I just saw this sitting there, and I vaguely remember the title, but I don't remember ever playing it. And again, because I just collect wrestling games, I grabbed a copy of Hammerlock Wrestling, which, by the way, both of these games are from the same video rental store, which is called Movie Zoo. They both have Movie Zoos on them.
Well, first of all, Movie Zoo is probably long closed.
Yeah.
But whoever was working at Movie Zoo, seriously, did you have to put the sticker
Yeah, look
like
at how
that?
they put the sticker on. It's so
I mean,
weird.
look at Pilot Wings. That was
Pilot
done
Wings
properly.
on the side. You know,
Hammerlock. I mean,
well, no, they didn't do it right because they put it over the label.
but still, that's okay. Even like
But
that's fine. But
that's
this
just-
is a travesty.
that
Where
was just lazy.
Hold on, I'm trying to see if it has an address now.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no? Okay.
It just says warning if this
Oh,
tape is tampered with.
Please be kind,
customer must
rewind.
purchase. Yeah. So
Yeah, Hammerlock, because then we ended up playing Hammerlock.
yeah, you played it a bit.
I did, and I remember now. I never played it originally, but I remember reading about it. It's broken up. The screen is broken up into thirds. This is
Yes.
what's weird about it. But the top and the bottom half are animation for when your moves go, but then the middle third is the actual gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
But when something happens, it switches to like half a screen.
Yes.
And it gets very disorienting sometimes.
Yes.
So fun, great graphics, don't get me wrong, but a little tough to play. I think Jalico made it. Yeah, Jalico made it. So interesting.
Is that how you say it?
I'd
Jalico?
probably not.
I would always say Jalico because I would think Coleco.
It might be Jalico.
I don't know. I would
Jaleco.
just say Jaleco. Anyway,
Pull the whole thing off.
So got those for the Super Nintendo. Then right at the end, before we were about to leave, I don't know who found the.
Oh, I did.
That last booth.
That was me.
Yeah, in the corner by Jenna.
Yes.
Yeah,
My friend Jenna.
Larry's friend Jenna. Which here there's already a restraining order. But
Lovely woman.
but there was one other booth, and you were like, "Dude, they have games here," and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So went
specifically PC games.
PC games.
That's what it was.
Yeah, it had PC games. So I was like, "Oh, cool, all right." So went over there. He had a few other things.
Oh no, he had other games.
He had a few other games,
but I called you over
PC
because of the PC.
and, yeah. And I'm building up my PC gaming collection now that I have a PC computer from like 2000.
Here.
Yeah, which is really cool. In the east wing of my office.
I'm gonna make a donation so I don't have to name it after me.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, that'll be the Mormon wing. So, wives permitted. So I picked up a few PC games, and they're all part of the same collection.
Are they? I really didn't.
Well, not the same collection, but what I mean
series.
is like the same series, same franchise. So I'm a big fan of Myst.
Yes.
And I actually do already have these on my Steam Deck and stuff, but just to grab the original ones from. So I got the Myst Uru Complete Chronicles.
I never heard of that
which is really cool. I think this is Myst. I think this might be like Myst
1 and 2,
4-ish, something like that. They did a 10th anniversary way back in 2003. So this came out in 2003. It's a 2-disc set. Purple and blue.
Uh-oh.
This one fell
You
out.
never know which way to twist that.
I know. It's just always so you got purple and blue in here. So it's complete, which is great. And then I grabbed. I'm going kind of backwards because that one was 03. And then I got Myst 3 Exile.
Very cool.
Which I've never played actually.
Uru is its own title. I thought it was like some special collection.
Uru is its own title. Okay. So, Myst 3, and it says, "The perfect place to plan revenge." That's the subtitle, which is kind of cool. And this sucker is a 4-disc set.
Wow, good lord.
Yeah, 4-disc set. Still has the instruction user manual, which I'm very happy with. All right, and then last but not least, I really like the packaging on this one, but I picked up Riven, which is the sequel to Myst. So this is like Myst 2.
Yes, that is a very nice packaging.
And the packaging is really, really nice on here. So... open that up.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and then each one.
It's like
they're all sleeves. Each disc, 5 discs for this one.
Good God!
And the artwork on it is just beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So so you can just see that.
I didn't know it looked open like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so really cool. So I'm actually very excited to play these on my PC.
Yeah, man.
So, and this disc set came out in 1997.
Yeah, this one came out in like 03, 04 Uru, and it is the 4th game in the series.
And when did Exile come out? Which is right there? No. Just flip it over.
Well, that might be when that version
2001.
Oh, yeah. And Uru was 03.
Yeah, and Uru was 03. So, some more PC games for my collection, which is really cool. Happy about that. And that was everything I bought at the convention.
Oh, Myst 3. I'm sorry. Never mind. Came out on 01. Yeah. Yes, very cool convention. So, Saratoga Comic-Con. Loved it. We'd be happy. Definitely, I think we would love to come back.
Yeah, I would definitely go back next year, especially since I live over here.
This is true.
So it makes it a lot easier.
I'll be back in a year.
Yeah. I won't see Larry until next. Yeah.
And then, not only so, then from there we had a whole different excursion that blew all our minds. So at the show, we ran into a couple friends. We didn't run into. We knew they were.
No. We invited them.
Yes.
So so we invited a couple of weeks ago. A few weeks ago now, I think at this point.
Yeah.
We had 2 new friends on the show, John and Jonathan.
Yeah.
Recycling or Capital Region Electronic Recycling, long name. But they were on the show. We were talking about PC games specifically because they were big into John.
Huge.
John specifically was John and Jonathan were big into that stuff, and because they run an electronic recycling center. They get a lot of computers in. In fact, we met them at the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo last year. I did. I didn't. I did. Meet them. Yeah. So I did, and I bought the PC.
Yes, you did.
That I have here from them, along with the DVD VCR combo, which is also also set up right down there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hooked up to the computer so I can transfer tapes.
Fancy.
Which is great. So John met us there, and John was the one on the show where he had that really cool office with everything hooked up. Mm-hmm. So he met us at the convention, and then after the convention, he gave us a little bit of a tour because he's from here, grew up here.
We were with Jack as well. Jack's been on the show before.
Yep. Jack was with us as well. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's a jerk, but
oh, that's just mean. So he's actually still here.
Yes.
So,
but he's not here.
But he's not listening to you. So
he's not a jerk. He's cool.
Yeah. So Jack was here as well. So we did a little tour of
the warehouse.
Yeah,
first.
of the warehouse.
Oh
first,
my God.
where they basically keep all of the stuff that has been donated to them for recycling.
Yes.
And it
Cue
was
the
massive.
pictures and videos that hopefully
Yeah, you'll see a lot of pictures and videos that we took here, but it was absolutely massive.
It was wild.
Yeah.
I mean, just bins of boards, of chips, what's that? And like of monitors, keyboards. It was, I mean, you're seeing it.
Yeah.
It is wild.
Yeah.
And
televisions.
oh yeah, no, television. Just what
Just-
they do and what they get is absolutely amazing. But that was just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it really was.
For what we ended up going to. And I will say this right now, and I tried my best to sneak a microphone, and I should have mic'd the two of them up in the beginning.
Jack and John.
Jack and John can do their own podcast that has no topic.
Yes.
Doesn't even need a title. Just put them in a room, start hitting record 10 minutes into their conversation, and just let them go. And it is wild listening to them
Absolutely
talk.
wild.
I get a kick out of it personally.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're talking about, but I enjoy listening to it. It's all PC and computer stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
But then we ended up going to John's place.
Yeah, so then afterwards we went to John's place. He showed us his office and everything he has in his office, and it's just mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
As soon as you walk down those stairs and you hit with the boxes that he has in the computer set, I don't even remember in what order, so I'm not even going to bother trying to tell you how. But what he had, MSX, Ataris, televisions, some consoles.
He had some consoles, but a lot of PC, like Tandy.
Yes, you got
Tandy, FM Towns, Commodores, Apple. He had the Apple IIe. He had the Apple, I think, 2C.
Yes.
Like, it just,
Again.
And all set up. Everything all set up.
You're going to see a lot of the pictures.
The Laserdisc player.
Yeah, the Laserdisc was fun. Yeah, I thought we would actually end up watching the entire movie of Heavy Metal.
I thought so too.
I was going to get a little awkward.
But not only that, but just like, he had a wall full of like PC games,
software was ridiculous.
Software of games, really cool stuff. And then there was another room.
Yes,
he had another
secondary.
Yeah, he had
dungeon.
basically he had like an overflow room.
He did. It was basically an overflow.
It was an overflow room because he couldn't fit everything in his office.
Yep.
And again, it was just a lot of other stuff, a lot of other storage, like monitors, PCs. Oh, he had I forgot what that thing is. That was
an Atari. Atari, excuse me. Yeah. Atari Portfolio.
Yeah, so one thing he showed us, which was really funny, was the Atari Portfolio, which neither of us have ever seen in person.
No, I haven't seen any of these in person.
But the point of reference for it was funny, because if you watch Terminator 2 Judgment Day, there's a scene where John Connor, Eddie Furlong's character, where young John Connor goes up to an ATM and takes out a little device and, hacks the ATM and takes money out.
Please insert your stolen card now.
Will you hurry up? This is taking too long.
Go, baby, go, baby, go, baby. All right. Pin number 900.
Who'd you learn this stuff from anyway?
From my mom, my real mom, I mean. Withdraw 300 bucks. Come on, baby, come on, come on, come on. Yes!
Hey, it worked.
All right. Easy money. Come on.
Yeah. He's using this little Atari Portfolio to do the hacking part of it, which is just funny.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
The one game that I got to play a little, I got through the opening verification of my age, was
that was fun.
Leisure Suit Larry, Land of the Lounge Lizards.
Yeah, and I believe we took...
This was on a Tandy.
Yeah, this was on a Tandy. And
there's video, yes.
We took video of the quiz.
No, we did, which I'm sure we can show. But now, the game came out in the 80s. I can't tell you when exactly. It's probably the 80s. Yeah, it was on a Tandy.
Yeah.
And because Leisure Suit Larry is a mature game before the ESRB ratings, you had to verify your age. And it said you have 5 questions to ask. And I was like, uh-oh. Okay, because I'm imagining like stuff that a child would not know. But then like some of the questions was like, who's got the densest population? Like L.A., New York City, Utah, and somewhere else. Now I'm like, oh, now I got to think about like back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Then there was some other questions that had some jokey answers to it, which I thought was very funny, especially with Utah.
Yes.
And but it was just fun. And then we get to the gameplay, and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
And that was literal. Like Larry did not know what to do.
No, it was weird. None of the controls were
Larry
working.
could not control Larry.
No,
So
which is the usual case.
Yeah.
Stack of VHSs that he had.
Yeah.
Little Jeopardy that you found.
That little handheld Jeopardy. It's like a Tiger Electronics Jeopardy,
Tiger.
which was fun.
So just a ton of stuff.
Like literally, if Jack would come out here and actually be on the show, he would rattle off a list of everything he had.
Jack, where are you? The Amstrad that he had.
Yes.
And he had these things, I don't want to say modded, but like he had like external like SD cards on him and stuff like that.
He definitely modded and updated a lot of the boards.
Yeah.
To make sure that they weren't pieces of them weren't going to burn out.
And his sound system.
His sound system is great
you
too.
can't even do justice talking about it.
Surround sound system. So all in all, like really cool. And not only that, like there were a good number of them turned on just to see how they run.
You said it was like Christmas Vacation when he turns the lights on and then the power plant.
I was like, the power plant probably had to kick in to take care of it. But like, I played some Marble Madness on the FM Towns.
Oh, you did get to play that?
Yeah, I
okay.
did play a little bit of that.
That.
Super smooth, really cool.
I did run, so I saw it.
He had the original Goonies game playing on one of the. I don't
remember which one it was.
I don't remember what console it was. But he had that playing. He had Castlevania running on his MSX.
Yes.
Which was really cool.
When we first walked in, we walked into a nice house, very nice house. When we walked into the house, in his kitchen, he had a little computer set up.
Yeah, he had a small computer set up.
Duke Nukem on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just in the kitchen.
Well, just in case he didn't want to walk downstairs.
I don't blame him. Because I was a little worried. I was like, I'm just afraid to bump into something.
Yeah, no, it was a really great experience. It was a fun outing.
Very cool.
Definitely something would love to do again. And John's just the nicest guy in the world.
Sweetheart. Awesome guy.
Yeah, super nice guy. So you'll probably be seeing him again on the show.
Totally.
Jonathan, unfortunately, couldn't make it out yesterday. He originally had planned to. So
things happen.
We'll hit him up next time.
Absolutely.
Which will be cool.
We'll see what's happening.
But all in all, like a very, very successsul day.
Yes. Busy.
Definitely busy. Really,
We're going to have another one today, hopefully. I know we're recording beforehand, but you're going to bring me to a couple stores.
Yeah, I'm going to bring you to a couple of stores that are up here, and I'm going to show you that not everything is in Long Island. So
it's not what I believe.
Well, I know that. But yeah, just all around great experience.
Very good.
Yeah,
good
day. It was a good day.
All right, so we're gonna move on here in a moment, but we will, of course, always, if you have cons near you, you want to talk up some cons, we may not be able to go to them, but we'd love to check them out. And where can they find us?
You guys can find us on Facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast, on Instagram at RetroGamersPodcast, on Twitter at RetroGamersPod. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube and Spotify at RetroGamersPodcast, and you can email us at email@theretrogamers.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you listen and watch us.
Share.
Yes.
So we're going to get right into it. Let's talk about Game of the Week.
Yes.
Which is a very interesting Game of the Week. I mean, my pick, don't get me wrong.
You kind of swung random one. Totally random. No, but it's totally random.
Krusty's Funhouse on the NES, multiple versions. Super Funhouse on Super NES and Genesis. Yep. Krusty's Funhouse on Game Boy.
I almost picked it up yesterday at the convention. I found a Super Nintendo copy.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to find a Super Nintendo copy.
Oh, shoot. The guy where I bought these Super Nintendo games.
I didn't even see it. Yeah. That's the original one I had, was Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
But
I should have pointed it out.
That's all right. But I got they all play the same, basically. It really is no different. I think there's like time bonuses in the Super NES one.
Okay.
But in any event, Krusty's Funhouse, total random, but it's such a great puzzler. It was a great puzzler in my head.
Yes.
From what I remembered. Because I played it, but I didn't play it like I played here, and you'll see on Thursday. Programming note, every Thursday, our gameplay of the week is now going to drop at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll still be in the chat when we can.
Yep.
In the live chat.
Yep.
So you can watch us fail miserably at these games.
And we haven't failed miserably yet.
No, we've done some good stuff.
Yeah, not really.
We never guarantee a game game completion, but we'll try
I
our
think
best.
the only fail might have been pro wrestling because you had to pull it.
I talked about that last week. That and Mario Kart Wii.
Yeah.
And when I put up what I thought was the fixed version,
Yes.
but all I did was trim the front and back.
Yes.
I still had that first part.
It's fine.
No,
it
I
was
know. I'm
Fine.
just
It was
saying.
fine.
But Krusty's Funhouse. What's your take on Krusty's Funhouse?
Well, I
when you
mean,
played?
I don't really remember playing it all that much when I was younger. I might have rented it once. Like, it was one of those types of things. And at the time, I guess it didn't really appeal to me.
Well, were you a fan of The Simpsons growing up?
I was.
Okay,
When
okay.
Simpsons first came out, I was a fan. Like, and I actually played. I had Bart versus the Space Mutants.
Good game.
I used to rent Bart's Nightmare all the time because I just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But Krusty's Funhouse to me, I guess maybe because it wasn't like one of the Simpsons
I got you.
characters.
Well, yeah,
maybe
I
it
got
wasn't
you.
like it wasn't Bart driven
Yeah,
type of
yeah.
thing. So maybe I just kind of let it pass
No,
by.
it makes sense. It makes total sense.
But I remember renting it, and then circling back, I've played it when I was older.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, at that point, I have already like when I would play it now, it'd be like, oh, it's Lemmings.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's Lemmings. So, and at that point, I had played Lemmings on my PC in the mid '90s, and I was like, okay, this game Lemmings is awesome. Playing Krusty's Funhouse is fine, but it was like I don't know. First off, I always marvel at what games offer children to do. So in other words, in this game, the goal is to murder all the mice.
Well,
that
that's
are
what
running
you do
around.
in real life. If
Yeah.
you have a pest invasion.
Yeah, no, it's a
you're
pest
gonna
invasion,
pest.
so you're murdering mice.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
creatively.
You know, but creatively and in a cartoonish way, which is fine. But you know, and it's a decent puzzler,
It is.
but there wasn't anything that necessarily really I found outstanding about it. You know what
Okay.
I mean? It was just like I said. I think pedestrian was the best word for me to
Mm-hmm.
explain it. It was just kind of like I ho-hummed it as I played, and I was like, okay, this is fine. I was like, but you know, and we played the NES
Yeah,
version. We played the NES version. So for the NES, graphics were fine.
Yeah, the NES
graphics were fine. The levels looked. They had certain. They were challenging, certain ones.
Yeah, especially they got challenging quickly, which
Yes.
is a little weird.
Well, no, NES games. The whole point of them were that replay value, and they didn't want to. They didn't load them
Yeah.
up with a ton of. Levels.
But it went from
like
like
I don't know how many levels are in it.
I
didn't even look that
forget,
up,
but there's
so.
a ton.
Yeah.
But it went from like 1 to 5 pretty quickly.
It definitely
Yeah.
did. So so overall, it was a fine experience, but it was one of those games where it's like I don't think I'm gonna go back to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not one I'd be like, oh wow, I really want to beat. Like I'll give you a comparison. Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle. I love that game,
me too.
and I've completed that game. In fact, I think I did it on a
Yeah, I think
live
you did.
stream
Yeah,
once.
yeah, I think you did,
I did a
yeah.
live
Yeah.
stream once of it. Absolutely loved it. But the puzzle in that one worked for me. The way you get through boards on that one. This one I was just kind of like I guess it kind of got old quickly.
Okay.
So for me it was like it was great to go back to, but I don't think I'd go back to it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're terrible retro gamers. No, I'm kidding. No,
Well,
there's a lot of games I won't go.
not
trust
every
me.
game is gonna hit it out of the park
There's a
for
lot
us.
of games.
And we have bias.
I definitely love the puzzle aspect of it, trying to get the mice from point A to point B, trying to figure out how to do that, how to get them there. The one biggest, and I totally forgot this when I mentioned the game because I hadn't played it in a while. It was my excuse as well to play it again for a little bit. I forgot how loose the controls are. I mean, it's like you're walking on ice.
Yes.
And that part is very difficult at times when you're trying to position blocks to get those mice going to different
you're sliding
spots.
everywhere.
And you just kind of slip it like the momentum just takes you.
Yeah.
And you can't help it. That to me, that's really the only complaint. Otherwise, again, the puzzle aspect of it. I mean, the boards are huge, so sometimes you have to do a lap around the board first
Yep.
and figure out where the mice are going to go. And then you get to the point sometimes you just get so frustrated, like I can't do this anymore. And then when I first played it, after I announced it, I forgot what I was trying to do. I was trying to do something I thought I could do with a block. Move it or something different. I kind of was relearning the game.
Yep.
And I totally forgot that when you hit select, that's how you restart the board. You lose a life by hitting select. Because, sometimes you'll get to a point that just stuck.
You're just stuck.
Or there's points where if you don't do something quick enough, the mice get stuck. And that's it. You have
you're
no other
done.
choice. Which I like that aspect as well.
Yeah.
But Otherwise, I enjoy the look of it. Again, it's Krusty. Krusty's a great secondary character in The Simpsons.
Yes.
I mean, he had some amazing lines in it. Krusty's Krusty. So to see him have his own game after seeing a lot of the Simpsons Bane family have their games,
Yes,
was I thought it was refreshing. I can definitely go back and play it over and over again. Even with the frustrating controls, eventually you kind of get used to it. You adapt to it.
Yeah.
And for me, the replay is definitely there because now I really kind of I'm keen into getting further and further into the game. Luckily, it's password friendly, and if you know The Simpsons, you could probably guess what all the passwords are because they're all related to Krusty and The Simpsons.
Of course.
So overall, I enjoyed it. I loved it. I do though want to still get my hands on the Super NES version. Okay. I mean, I have a ROM of it. I can try it, but I want to get a physical copy of it. But otherwise, hopefully you out there played it. Again, whatever version you played. I even booted up the Game Boy, which I never played before. The Game Boy version of it. And again, the levels are basically, for the most part, the exact same. For the most part.
Okay.
So if you played one, you played them all.
All right. Cool.
So, but with that, your choice.
Yep. So my choice for this week, and this was kind of an easy choice actually to make because we had talked. I don't know if it was yesterday or Friday or was, but you had told me you went to Game On and you saw this really awesome arcade game. Tristan told you about. He's like, "Oh, you gotta come to Game On and you gotta play this game, Bishi Bashi." And you were, and then you were like raving about it to me, and you're like, "Oh my god, there's this great game, Bishi Bashi," and I'm like. It's this arcade game that plays kind of like WarioWare, where it's all mini
very
games.
much like WarioWare.
Yeah.
You get your instructions 5 seconds before the game starts.
Exactly.
And it's a big giant center button that spins.
Yep.
And then 2 just regular big buttons, and they're all different color coded. Excuse me.
Color coded.
Depending on the game that's coming
Right.
up to play, and it's very goofy. It's very silly.
Yep.
And yes, when I talked about it last week, because that was the solo show I did. Apparently, it was the first time I remember hearing about it. Never heard about it before, and I was quickly corrected as soon as I showed up into this house.
Yes, because he walks into the house, and I'm like, "Hey, Larry," I go, "You found Bishi Bashi. I'm so happy." I was like, "But you forgot. I told you about it years ago when Barcade opened in Los Angeles, and I went there, and they had a Bishi Bashi game." And not only did I say it years ago, which I'll forgive you for because it was a few years ago. We talk a lot, but I had shared with you just several months ago that I had on the show. It's on the show where I discovered that Bishi Bashi games were released on the PlayStation. So I ran to eBay and bought one, and I showed it off on the show.
I don't pay attention.
You do not pay attention. So you're gonna pay attention for this week because this week's game of the week is going to be Bishi Bashi Special for the PlayStation 1.
Which I believe is the first one.
I don't know if it's the first
all right.
game. There are multiple games that came out, but we're gonna play Bishi Bashi Special. Or look, for anybody out there, whatever Bishi Bashi game you can get your hands on, it's absolutely worth playing.
Well, the giant arcade.
Yeah, or if you find the arcade, it's super fun to play. So that's gonna be our game of the week.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yes.
I'll find myself a copy.
Yeah, I think you can manage.
I think I'll figure something out.
You know what? I have a copy here we can play later.
Well, there we go.
And we're done.
All right, and that's I think our first international game too.
Might not be. I think there might have been one other one.
There might have been one other one.
Yeah, there might have been one other one.
That's an edit.
Yes.
But and then with that, yeah, we're gonna wrap things up here.
No news this week.
Yeah, no news this week. Was there even? I don't
Well,
think there was
I'm sure
spectacular.
there's news out there. We just we didn't do the research.
There's no pure news.
Yeah, we've been busy this weekend.
So So with that, yeah, we'll wrap it up. And one more time, where can they find us?
All right, you guys can find us on Facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast, on Instagram at RetroGamersPodcast, on Twitter at RetroGamersPod. You can listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube and Spotify at Retro Gamers Podcast, and you can email us at email@theretrogamers.com.
I keep staring at you. Have this periodic table of game controllers above your monitor.
I know. Well, are you torn between like how cool it looks versus learning?
No.
It makes
I'm
it look
torn
like
with they have Engage spelled ENGAGE, but I don't know if they're trying to be funny about it or
They might be.
they just misspelled it.
I do not know.
It's driving me nuts.
Oh well, you'll just have to live with that.
Did the letters even match up with stuff, or are those the actual periodic letters?
I do not know.
Interesting.
So no, they are not the actual periodic letters because
Okay.
I do know hydrogen, which is H, is not on there.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
Well, with that, now I got to find that clip art to put on the podcast.
Yep. Take a picture before you leave.
We'll catch you everywhere next week on the Retro Gamers Podcast.